Hi and welcome back. In this video, we're going to talk about errors in Python. And we're going to talk about quite a few of them. I just want to tell you something about these built-in errors, the errors that come with Python, so that when they appear in your programs, you'll know exactly what they mean, and you don't have to, waste time trying to find out what they are and how they happened. So we're going to talk about a few errors. We're going to talk about the index error and what it means, a key error, and name error. These types of error happened when you accessed something that didn't exist or in the wrong way. We're going to look at attribute error, which is fairly related. And then we'll look at not implemented error. This is an error that you can use. That can be really handy. We're going to look at runtime error, quite a generic error. Then we're going to look at also syntax error. This happens when you mess up writing Python code. You don't write proper Python. We're going to look at indentation error and tab error. And these happen when you mess up with the spaces or tabs or when you mix them together. We're going to look at type error and value error. And these happen when you give the wrong values or values of the wrong type to some built-in functions. Then we're going to look at import error and when that happens. And we're also going to briefly talk about deprecation warning and how you can use that. So the index error. The index error happens when you do something like this. The first 3 lines, by the way, are just the Python introduction type thing when you run Python on your console. I'll teach you how to do that in a couple of sections' time. Basically, we've defined friends as Rolf and Anne, and then we've accessed friends2. But of course, friends2 doesn't exist because friends only has 2 things, 0 and 1. When you access friends2, that's an index error, because you accessed an index that didn't exist. In this case, it tells you that the list index was out of range. You're trying to access 2, but you only go up to 1. And this is a type of index error. Notice how the traceback tells you where the file, the line, and the module or function that you ran it in. And in this case, because I'm running Python in interpreter mode, that means you're just running Python interactively. It executes as soon as you type. So the file is just the thing I'm typing. That's what this file is called. And line is number 1 because, again, every line is number 1 in interpreter mode. And the module is just the module I'm running with. And that just means, when it says in module, that just means you are running the line directly. You're not going through any functions. So this is an index error. It happens when you access an index that didn't exist or an index that is otherwise incorrect. Then we've got key error. And this is fairly similar to the one we saw earlier. But now we have the proper code, movie name, movie director, and movie release. However, it should be year. And remember, in our milestone 1, we used the year key. And let's assume that we've used the year key for this bit of code as well. What we'll get then is this nice traceback. Again, what we've got now is a key error. And the description of this key error is pretty terrible. I don't like this description because it just says the key that you misused. So it says key error, release. Not terribly helpful, but now you know that you've used the release key at some point where you shouldn't have. And then, if the traceback is good, it'll give you which line that error happened. You've used it here in movie release. And then again it says, and this line was inside show movie details. Show movie details was executed as show movie details with movie inside it, and that happened inside show movies. That was executed inside the menu, and the menu was executed inside the module or the file that you executed. Notice how all of these things are inside a file called app.py, because that's what our file was called in milestone 1. So the key error happens when you use a key incorrectly, or otherwise the key doesn't exist, but movie is a dictionary. Okay, so we've got movie being a dictionary, and then we accessed the incorrect key. If movie was a list, remember from the last video, we would get a different type of error. We also have name error. And the name error happens, as we saw earlier in the last video, when the variable is not defined. So here I've just launched Python and I said print hello, the variable hello, but of course hello is not defined, so I get a name error that says name hello is not defined. Of course, Print of the string hello would still work, because the string hello is just a set of characters and numbers, or symbols, and Python doesn't evaluate it to a variable at all. So that would work, but printing the variable hello doesn't work. This is actually a really common error for my students, where they forget to, or you guys forget to, put the quotation marks around the string. Happens to everybody, and just remember, if you get a name error for something that it's in a print, just check whether it needs quotation marks around it. That's a fairly popular thing, so just keep your eyes out. Let's also look at attribute error. Attribute error is pretty popular when you're starting to deal with objects. In this code here, we've got my friends list, which has 3 strings, Rolf, Jose, and Charlie. And then we've got some friends that are nearby, Rolf and Anna. And notice these 2 are lists, and then I'm doing friends.intersection of friends nearby. Intersection is something we can do with sets. If you recall, we looked at this earlier on in the course. It is not something you can do with lists. So then you